There's another section of the fandom, not unlike Raylo's, but think a Raylo as a QAnon, and you will see the craziest fucking shit you've ever seen. Because there's a thing called hashtag conformitygate. Let's listen to this very sane person here.
If you click this comment right here, it's going to bring you to a video where I predicted the ending of Stranger Things. I'm about to predict something else, and it's not going to be based off of clips of episodes. It's going to be based off of legal due process. If you do not want to listen to me explain it, this is a QR code right here. You can simply scan it. It's going to give you an AI prompt, and you can put it into any AI platform of your choice. It's going to break down this entire due process for you. It's also going to cite where you can get that information from if you want to just consume it yourself and fall down the rabbit hole that I've been under for the last 4 days. If you want to listen to me explain it, I'm going to do it right now for you. First, you think about who the fan base is of Stranger Things. Okay. You can put us into 2
So buckets. You're like, what is this chick talking about? Okay. So that comment said, girl, you predicted everything. This is a big Stranger Things fan. Look at her background. It's all good. It's all good. She's a huge fan, and it's a fandom like you don't see with Avatar, where they break down theories and stuff. And quite frankly, the fan theories throughout this and the whole process of the series have been better than the show. It's a problem with Mystery Box, though. So she's really into the show, and what Conformitygate is there is a secret 9th episode that they filmed that they're going to release, and she is going to give you the evidence why.
Both going to feel very differently about that finale. The first bucket are going to be the people that are there for the story, the action, the characters, the buildup, the nostalgia that they get from there. And you're going to have this bucket right here. And that's the bucket that I fall into. Something that you should know about me before we get started is my special interests are people, puzzles, and problems. And that's exactly.
Okay, that explains a lot.
What this is, and if those are your special interests as well, it's probably one of the reasons that you love Stranger Things. If you're in this category, we watched this finale and we just kept saying this doesn't make sense. And that is because
it doesn't make sense. And that's because
the Duffer Brothers are completely meticulous, and that's how they gained us as a fan.
The Duffer Brothers are completely meticulous.
What we watched looked like seasons. Same actors, long run times, media promotion, as well as release dates. And I'll tell you, you probably think I'm crazy. If you go onto Netflix and you look at season 5, it's going to say S5:, and it's going to say E1, episode 1. And that's an analoging issue. That actually is a known problem with Netflix. It's simply just the only way that Netflix can take that content and put that out there. That's the first thing that trips you up when you talk about kind of that due process and how Netflix goes into actually.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about now. An analoging problem, putting S5E1. It's an abbreviation thing, probably done by AI now, but I used to do chaptering for Blu-rays and stuff. And yeah, we just didn't care. If the information gets across, because we have to do so much of it, it was abbreviated on DVDs and Blu-rays often because to save time. But here we go.
Releasing a show. What naturally ends.
Now, we wouldn't do S5E1. We would do episode 5 E1 or something like that. But we wouldn't, or season 5 E1 and not spell out episode. But it was just to save time.
What ended up happening is we consumed this as seasons with episodes. And that's how it registered to us.
That's normally how we watch TV shows. We consume them as episodes of a season. Yes, thank you.
That leads us right into the biggest problem. The Duffer Brothers never registered this season. In order to be considered a final episode, you have to do 3 things. You need to have a final episode ID, legal release status, and then you have to enter it into the distribution and measurement system. That's the legal side of this.
The distribution and measurement system of what?
This is what you have to do in order to officially produce a show. All of those things together make it an official episode. And what we just watched is not registered that way. And don't you worry, I already checked. Seasons 1 through 4 were absolutely registered that way. So I'm sure, just like I was trying to figure out, what did we just watch? Since that footage is not released or registered the same way that we have with all of the other previous episodes that we've watched, basically a giant promo. And if you're looking for the legal terminology here, I wrote it down for you. So what was released was we actually had long form video content made from licensed material and promotional edits. You just watch the longest ad of your life. If you really want to be a hater and be like, oh, it's just a...
So she's saying it wasn't an actual show. It was just a clip or a part of a show, an incomplete show used as promotional. So it's a trailer, a sizzle reel.
Paperwork thing. They just did it differently. They're doing a spin-off. They're starting a universe. Like, it can be totally explained. Then I have one final question for you to think about. Why did all of the other seasons take 6 months to film and this one took a year?
The strike.
They're not going to release extra minutes. They're releasing a whole other official season 5.
So the cope is, and God bless them, man. People love something so much. They wanted to be happy. They want to root for this. They want an explanation. I get it. I get it. You get so invested in something and it breaks your heart. And you're like, no. There's got to be some explanation for this. And half of that stuff, I honestly don't know what she was talking about. But the conformity gate goes beyond that. So conformity gate, I had to look it up, is the theory is that that the final episode, the finale, was all an illusion projected by Vecna. Was all an illusion projected by Vecna. Now, honestly, if they ended the show like that and everybody's in the kaiju, like the original kids, and they're living their happy lives, but Vecna actually merged the world and he's going on to start his new life, I'm actually okay with that over what we just got. But it doesn't end there. So it's all an illusion, and there's not a whole season. She's taken it a little too far. There's another episode that they're going to secretly release. There's another episode, despite the Duffer Brothers saying they aren't going to do it. Multiple actors saying they're not going to do it. Would it be interesting if they actually did that? Okay, let's go into Fantasyland. Yeah, I think so. I think it would be interesting. But the Duffer Brothers aren't meticulous. And I mean, at all. And that was fully exposed. See, that's the thing about Mystery Box. It eventually exposes you. Everybody thought Jar Jar was a fucking genius for the longest time, singing his praises. But I was on to him early. I was, because Alias pissed me off. I loved Alias. I loved it until I realized, oh, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So it was mentioned on the EFAP we did that a lot of the Stranger Things script were written last minute or filled in later. I know Grace Randolph, the famous feminist, wants to blame a divorce because one of the Duffer Brothers' wife divorced him before season 5, but that bitch was there. Sorry, for seasons 2 and 3. So shut up. So they're not meticulous, and their house of cards fell down in their final season when they didn't sufficiently or satisfyingly answer even some of the questions. You didn't have to answer all of them. You don't. And no, I am not the kind of viewer who thinks that, well, there was a passing sentence in episode 3 that explains this giant thing in the show. It's like, no, that's actually not enough. There's certain things you need to show, especially when in a show. What's inconsistent is a show that is so expository, but then you completely forget things, but you over-explain shit all the time, repetitively. So you can't say, well, they're being coy and subtle. How subtle was that coming out scene with Will? Pretty fucking subtle, huh? It just ended bad. Sorry, your show ended bad. And it was filled with plot holes and bad because they did a bad job writing. And they had $480 million in 3 years to do something good, and they didn't. Sucks. I was not expecting. I was like cautious about season 5, but I'm like, it'll probably be pretty fun. You know? And it was terrible. I wish it wasn't. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it. But yes, but that is crazy shit right there. There's a secret episode. God bless you. And you know what? I hope she's right. I hope I'm wrong and she's right. And there's a whole other season out there. That'd be cool. I'm down. There's only one season of Stranger Things, in my opinion, now, because season 4 is kind of ruined. I like Eddie. They forgot about the Demogorgons, the Demodogs, and the Demibats. And the Duffer Brothers are saying, well, Vecna was surprised. I am not convinced by that argument, so it must have been budgetary. And if you watch that end scene where they're on the abyss, the effects are dog shit. Like the creature of the actual creature itself, you know, the mind flayer, that's fine. But man, the background is terrible. It is embarrassing for how much money they spent on this. So, yeah. The last cultural phenomenon show comes to a very disappointing end.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.